Hey guys, how's it going? Yesterday I just did a LASIK surgery operation on my eyes, and this was something that I wanted to do for a really long time because I don't like wearing glasses, and I wanted to do LASIK surgery to get my eyes fixed. And so yeah, I did it in Korea. I went to the Gangnam office. The name of the clinic was called Dream Eye Center, which is a pretty famous one because I went to there, and apparently a lot of K-pop stars like Boa did their LASIK surgery there, so it's pretty well known. And the operation took about 10-15 minutes. And what they would do is they would basically, if people are wondering how the LASIK surgery process goes, the first two things they might be worried about is, number one, is it painful? And number two, what are the after effects? Are there any really negative side effects? Is there any chance that, it could cause blindness and stuff? I think that's the two things that people are really concerned about, and I was concerned about it too. So I was a little bit nervous, but the people there were really friendly. They're really generous. They can speak English, which is really good for me as well. And Korea has been really, really good for surgery because Korea is like the surgery capital of the world, and a lot of people here, a lot of doctors in Korea are very experienced. So and it's also really, really cheap too. I think the LASIK surgery I had was about $1,500 US, which is like roughly half the price it would be in US or Canada. I think it would be like 3, 4, or 5K if it was in the US or Canada. So it's much cheaper in Korea, and the doctors are really experienced, so you don't have to worry about it. And yeah, I was a little bit nervous going in, but it wasn't painful at all. They basically put an anesthetic in your eye, so each of your eyes. So your eyes don't feel anything, but the scary part is that you can actually see what's going on. So you can actually see for LASIK surgery, what they do is they cut a flap in your cornea, and they put a laser through it basically. So while I didn't feel anything, but I could still see it, which is a little bit uncomfortable for me. A little bit uncomfortable because I could see that basically they put like a suction cup on your eye and put pressure on your eye, and that kind of hurt a little bit, but not that much. It's only for a split second. And then you can see that the doctor would use this tiny little knife to cut a circle in your cornea and then lift the flap up, and then basically after they lift the flap up, you feel like you're blind, like you'll see absolutely nothing. And then like this laser will just come down and you can't see the laser at all. I could smell the laser, but I couldn't see the laser at all. After about like a few minutes, it was done. Then the flap goes back in, and then you had to wear these protective contact lens. And then that's why I'm wearing sunglasses right now. It's also to protect my eyes. So they do that for each of your eyes, and you basically have to use like 3 or 4 different eye drops every day. And I'm using like 3 different eye drops right now. One is actually made from my blood, so they actually took my blood as well. I think that's because they had to get my plasma or something. Anyways, I'm using 3 different eye drops right now, and you had to do that for like 1 week. And then for 1 week you have to wear sunglasses and an eye shield at night so that you don't touch your eyes, so that you don't the risk of complications, the most common complication reasons, and I'm not saying this is common or anything, it's LASIK surgery is very safe, but in the chances that it has a complication most of the time, almost all the time, is because you're touching your eyes right after the surgery, and then it could cause the flap to the corneal flap is very, very thin, so that can easily be dislodged, and then that's where most of the complications come in. And I think worst case, it will not make you blind or anything, but it will be like kind of an emergency if you can't see out of one of your eyes or both of your eyes, right? So that's a problem, but I think unless you have a really like genetic problem or something, it wouldn't cause any blindness. And only like, I don't know, point something % of the population would have that genetic problem, and they would check for it before the surgery anyways. So yeah, LASIK surgery is very safe, and right now my eyes are recovering, so it's still kind of blurry. I think my right eye is pretty clear, so I can definitely see pretty well out of my right eye right now. My left eye is a little bit more blurry, but in general I think my eyesight is definitely it's as if I'm wearing contact lenses, but I'm not really wearing contact lenses, so that's the feeling. It's pretty cool. Like, yeah, it's like I'm wearing contact lenses, but I don't have to wear contacts. It's just I have good eyesight now, which is pretty cool. So hopefully in a week and stuff, my left eye would be better, and then I could see everything clearly. So yeah, that's my experience with LASIK surgery so far. And moving on to next topic, another thing I wanted to talk about, what I want to rant about is my having problems dating Korean girls here. This is Korea, and part of the reason why I came to Korea was because I really like Korean girls, and I thought this is just my preference, but I think Korean women are they're amazing. I think they're like they care about their appearance a lot, so they're always like really beautiful, and they always dress up, and like their skin and their makeup's always like flawless. They have good fashion sense, and it's not just appearance, but personality is also pretty good. I think they're really nice and polite. I've not really had a Korean girl be rude to me before. I think in general, they're just really nice people, and they're also really sweet and loving to their boyfriend from my previous girlfriends. And also I can see in Korea, all these girls really being really like lovey-dovey with their boyfriends. So I think in general they're really good, and part of the reason why I came to Korea was because I wanted to find a Korean girlfriend and eventually bring her back to US and Canada. Well, it's kind of hard, and all of last year I've tried really hard to get a Korean girl, and it's really difficult. I think I only had two girls in total last year actually like me back, and the majority of the girls that I liked just didn't work out because I would go to a lot of meetups and stuff. There's not many ways for foreigners to meet Korean girls here, because most Koreans, the way they meet their significant other is to go through blind dating. And because I don't have any friends that have any free time for blind dating to introduce me anyways, not that they have any friends to introduce me, all their friends already have boyfriend or girlfriend, and plus they don't have much time. I don't even have time to meet them, so I can't do blind dating or sogating as it is called in Korean. But I want to meet a girl, so I had to go online to go to these websites, language websites or meetups to meet girls. But it's pretty difficult, and it's really hard, because I tried using Tinder or stuff, but that stuff doesn't work because these girls there are a lot of guys, like other foreign guys like me and Korean guys on those sites, like basically bombarding those girls, so they're not going to respond to me on there. And going to meetups doesn't really work because I only see them like once, and then they don't come back, and then even if I get the cacao, it's really hard to maintain the contact with them. And then so the online websites and stuff is really hit and miss too, because a lot of girls are on there obviously just to learn languages. They're not there to make a boyfriend. So and even if they are, they have to be the right type of girl for me, right? I have to find the right girl who fits my requirements, and who is willing to leave her family, leave her job, leave her friends to go back to US or Canada eventually with me, which is pretty difficult. It's not easy. Like, it would be hard for even a Korean guy to get a girl, like even a Korean American guy that can speak Korean well, to get a girl like that to go back with them, and then it's hard for me. But there's some reasons. I think one reason might be that Korean women, I think they're kind of picky, but they have the standards for appearance and personality both. So like it's not just like a lot of girls, they only care about appearance or only care about personality, but Korean girls kind of care about both of those things, and they really, just like other girls in the world, they care about guys who are really confident and talk a lot and willing to make them laugh. And that's kind of difficult for me because I'm the type of guy that's really calm. I have a really calm personality. I don't get angry very easily, but it also means I don't express my emotion that much. And that might be why Korean girls are not really into me, because I don't try to make a lot of jokes, and I'm not like super aggressive or anything, and I don't go to clubs or anything to pick up girls, nor do I go to nightclubs or anything, and nor do I try to talk to girls on the street. It's just not the type of thing that I do, and it might be why it's difficult for me. And yeah, it's, first of all, for Korean girls, compared to other Asian girls, I think they're more exclusive. They tend to date within their own race. I've noticed that a lot of Korean girls, they just straight up tell me that they only date Korean guys. And I think this is because their race is very exclusive. There's not a lot of Koreans, so they want to keep their blood, I guess, or keep the language or culture. I mean, it's kind of, I don't know, I think that's kind of a dumb reason, because I'm really interested in Korean culture and I can speak Korean a little bit. And I don't know why it has to be a Korean guy, but anyways, for these girls, I think their parents or whatever, they want them to only date Korean guys. So you'll find a sizable chunk of Korean girls compared to other Asian girls, like Chinese girls, for example. Koreans are more exclusive. They only tend to date within the race. So there's a sizable chunk of girls that I can't date, which is unfortunate. And then there's the other girls are willing to date foreigners. Pretty much are only, when they mean foreigners, they mean like white guys. Like they don't really mean black guys, they don't mean Mexicans, they don't mean Hispanic, they don't mean other Asian guys like me. So most of the time when a Korean girl says I'm willing to date foreigners, it means I'm willing to date white guys, because that's what they mean by foreigners. That's why I think that's probably the reason I mentioned in my other video that Korean girls don't date Chinese guys. I haven't seen that couple pairing that much, and it's because Korean girls don't really date other Asian guys. And then for Chinese guys, they mostly only date Chinese girls too. So it's kind of the both exclusive thing, and it's hard to find that pairing. And for me, I'm not really that Chinese. I grew up in Canada, and I have more of a Western mind, if you will, but I also have a pretty good understanding of Korean culture because I studied Korean for 2 years, and I learned about Korean history and stuff. So I'm more of like a Korean American or Korean Canadian in that sense, but still it's pretty difficult. And some other Korean American guys that I met have also told me, or gyopos is what they're called in Korean, have also told me how difficult it is to date Korean girls here because of it's a different culture, but also it's everything. Like they're a little bit racist, I would say. They discriminate. The white guys, Korean guys, and other Asian guys, they're kind of like a little bit of discrimination there, and also they're looking for that right type of guy who has like the good appearance, so, and then like a good personality enough to like spend money on them or take care of them or something. And I mean, I think I do have that kind of personality. I do think I'm a calm person. I don't get angry easily. I'm pretty willing to spend money on girls. I usually buy gifts, and I usually pay for my girlfriends or my ex-girlfriends for dinner or whatever. So I'm pretty generous, I feel. And I also think I'm pretty generous with my time too. It's not just money. Like, I don't mind spending money for girls, but also I don't mind giving some of my time for girls too. Like a lot of Korean girls, they always ask me for help on English, or they want me to help them, with their resume or something, or help them with questions about the US or Canada, or anything like that. I'm always available to meet them. I'm always available to give some of my time to help them with that. And it sucks because I don't think they really appreciate me for it. I think Korean girls, they like to use me for English help, or they want to use me for those kind of or programming, even those kind of things, but they never really do anything for me. They don't, like, whenever I ask them for help or anything, they're always busy, and they don't respond to me. So I feel like it's very one-sided. I help them a lot on things, but they never really help me, and I don't think they really appreciate it. So it's another thing. And I graduated from a good school, I have a good job and stuff, but it doesn't seem to matter to them because obviously I got rejected a lot last year. I got a lot of girls. 70% of the girls that I messaged pretty much just ignored me. They ignored my Kakao Talk messages. They don't respond, or they just say they're busy, but pretty much when they say they're busy, that means they're not interested in you, and then they find a boyfriend. So that's pretty much mean that they're not interested in me, and I'm not sure why. Like I don't really understand what exactly Korean girls want, but as far as I can tell, it's like a combination of things. It's like you have to have a really aggressive, I think, aggressive, confident kind of personality, and you have to know their culture well, and you have to be able to speak Korean well, which I can't really do. I can speak Korean okay, but not like totally fluently, because it's a very difficult language. And yeah, I think it's like a combination of a bunch of things, but it's pretty difficult to get a Korean girlfriend, I think. That's why when I came here, I thought it was going to be easier, because I heard that Korean girls like guys who speak English well, who have a good job, etc., but that turns out not to be the case. Yeah, because it's not like I'm pretty, like I said, I'm pretty generous with stuff, and have a pretty calm personality. So it's not that But my friend, who was American guy, he came here and he was able to get girls pretty easily, and he didn't like he has a pretty short, like I would say, he has a pretty short temper, and he doesn't have that much patience, and he like his Korean's a little bit more limited than mine as well. And I don't know, I feel like that's just because he can talk a lot, and plus he's white, and he has an advantage over me in that sense. I think white guys don't really have to understand the culture or speak Korean well or dress well. And I try to dress pretty well too. And you know, part of another reason why I did LASIK surgery is because I was tired of Korean girls telling me, "Oh, you look like an engineer." Yeah, I'm an engineer. But, oh, you look like an engineer because I wear glasses. So I didn't really like that. But yeah, they're superficial, but it doesn't seem to matter when it comes to dating white guys, you know? It's like, for them, it's if they can speak Korean well a little bit, or they can dress up a little bit, then they get tons of compliments from Korean girls. Whereas me, doesn't matter if I dress well every day, I speak Korean much better, I never get any compliments from Korean girls. It's just expected of me because I'm Asian. And it's not really fair, because I'm not Korean, so like, I don't have to do those things, but I do that for them, and they don't really compliment me or anything. So that's kind of disappointing. So yeah, anyways, that's just my ranting thoughts on dating Korean girls. In Korea, I don't think it's easy, but it's just, yeah, it's pretty difficult. And plus the fact that a lot of people in Seoul are busy. It's not just the girls, the guys pretty busy too, but the girls more so, because you have to make appointments and stuff like 2 or 3 weeks in advance to meet them, and then during that time they already found a boyfriend somehow. Yeah, it's really hard, because you had to find a girl that's willing to date foreigners that are other Asian, and then you had to find a girl that's willing to have time for you, and you know, not doing sogating or something, otherwise they'll meet another guy. And it's just really difficult, especially if the girl's pretty, if the girl's cute. And there's a lot of pretty girls in Korea. I mean, I think the majority of girls here are pretty, but still the majority of girls here, I think, have guys interested in them or already dating a guy, because there's so many couples here. So it's about timing, it's about having the right approach, it's about having the right personality, and you know, finding a girl that's a really good match for me, and have me being a really good match for her. Having the two really come together is really, really difficult, especially if you're in a foreign country and the language barrier is kind of there. Not really for me, because I can communicate with a girl in Korean, but there's still some language barrier. It's not totally there. Of course, I don't really care if I found a girl that speaks English fluently or not. It doesn't really matter to me, as long as we have some similar interests or something, as long as we can have chemistry with each other, and that's really hard to find. So yeah, anyways, it's hard for me to find a girl, even if it was in an English-speaking country. So it's not to deal with language, it's just to deal with everything, with finding the right girl, the right personality, the right appearance. Everything has to match, and everything has to match for me and for her. So, and getting that right timing and everything. So that's why it's really difficult. So anyways, I just want to rant about that. I've been here 1.5 years, and that's been my experience so far. And I haven't had many girlfriends so yep, that's it. LASIK surgery plus ranting about dating Korean girls. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, leave me any comments.